The financial impact the coronavirus crisis is forcing parents to make some hard choices this holiday season. For some, the shrinking spending allowance will mean fewer gifts under the tree. Millions have filed for unemployment. Food banks are struggling to keep up with demand, and toy drives say donations are falling short. Many Americans say that they are uncertain about how much they will have in their wallets come 2021. I want to bring in now Gregg. He is a senior partner and leader for the North American marketing and sales practice for McKinsey Company. Thank you for joining us. According to a national survey that WalletHub published back in mid-November, 1 in 3 Americans is foregoing holiday gifts because of the coronavirus crisis. How is this holiday shopping season different for consumers compared to years past?
Well, thanks, Lana. I think first is it's incredibly different, to answer your question. Before we go into some of what we're seeing with consumer shopping, it's important to note that this is first and foremost a humanitarian crisis and tragedy that we all look through the lens in that in. But as you said, holiday shopping and holiday spending will be down. And in fact, we've found in our research 2/3 of consumers around the world in multiple countries reporting they intend to change their shopping behavior this holiday season. And even more interesting, they intend to have those shopping behaviors changes stick as we look to 2021.
Well, your company's research indicates that many consumers are hopeful that they can return to their old routines near the end of 2021. So I'm interested in sort of understanding what you just told me about wanting to have that tighter budget stick and people's expectations perhaps to get back to pre-COVID shopping habits. What does all of this really mean, Brian, for the economy?
Absolutely. Well, to start with, if you look at even just the past highlights of 2020 and the events that we've all as a global community had to deal with, we've actually launched at McKinsey consumer sentiment research around 45 markets starting back in March, and pulsing consumers every week to see how they're feeling, how they're thinking, where they're spending, and frankly, which of those behaviors they're likely to stick with. And as we look at that body of research, what we found is a couple things. I mean, first and foremost, digital is at the center. Right? E-commerce has won the day, and in a very big way. In fact, according to our research, we see that we jumped 10 years of digital penetration in terms of consumers buying online in a 90-day window. 10 years in 90 days. Unheard of epic changes. Secondly, we've also seen consumers switching. They've switched brands. They've shifted to different retailers, different retail channels. 75% of consumers report changing up a brand or retailer that they hadn't ever used before. And so these kinds of patterns of consumers really having an appetite for choice, an appetite for change, and by the way, being happy with some of those changes suggests that not only is this holiday shopping period a very different time, but what we're seeing is a complete transition as we work our way to 2021 and where consumers will spend their wallet and where they will spend their time.
Well, it makes sense that this would be completely different since everything in our society right now is completely different. I saw, though, that overall spending projections for this holiday season were expected to be record-breaking. Does this mean that there are certain segments of the U.S. population that are spending more than ever before, while others are unable to spend anything, perhaps?
Well, where you're seeing the records really getting broken, Lana, is actually in the days at which shopping is happening. So while overall spending is down and projected to continue to be so for this holiday season, what we're seeing is the spikes in certain days of shopping are higher than ever before. So whether that be Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we even saw it starting back during Prime Day, Amazon Prime Day in October. These kinds of spikes in certain specific shopping periods has hitting skyrocket highs. And so what we're seeing consumers do is saying we're going to spend less over time, but when we shop, we're going to shop in consolidated windows, and that's where you're seeing the records being broken.
That's so interesting. And it's particularly interesting, Brian, as you mentioned, Amazon Prime Day. I mean, this is one company that has decided to create, in essence, its own holiday shopping day, and that's now propelling the American economy and shopping habits forward. When we're contrasting that with mom and pop shops, brick and mortar retail, what is their prognosis for survival when you're looking to 2021 and beyond?
Well, even as we look at 2020, the ingredients of survival really started with where the consumer was spending their time, and that was digital. So what we're finding with small business and medium-sized businesses, the faster and the more developed they are in their e-commerce capabilities or their abilities to at least shop online and perhaps pick up in the store or pick up in a curbside way, is an ingredient for survival. And in some ways, if you think about 2021, it's a real opportunity for small, medium-sized businesses, because what we're seeing in this new moment is that consumers are not willing to just go with the inertia of the loyal brand they might have shopped with for years. They're willing to give others a try. And so we're seeing 2021 as a real year of transition, a year where the game board is being reset, and an opportunity to re-win the hearts and minds of consumers as they re-cement new journeys, starting in digital, but often ending in a physical location.
That is interesting how curbside pickup has really revolutionized, I think, that idea of being able to have the immediacy of picking something up at your local retailer, but also being able to shop online and be contactless. I feel like that's been all of my shopping during the pandemic. All right. Happy holidays. Brian, Gregg, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Lana. Happy holidays to you.